Condo prices in Broward County have officially dropped over 10% from their market peak, and buyers are finally taking back real ground. While condo sellers down in Miami refuse to budge, Broward sellers are feeling the pressure of 2026 HOA assessments. They are slashing prices and they are taking deals to get out. Here is the data that you need to know. What's up, everybody? Jake Fletcher here, real estate advisor and team lead at the Fletcher Group with eXp Realty. And every single month, I harvest like ripe peaches from the peach orchard of real estate, all of the latest data straight from the MLS so that you guys can make the best informed decisions for yourself and for your family. And if that's something that you appreciate, go ahead and smash the like button, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell so you don't miss future updates such as this one about Broward's condos. And honestly, this is one of the most fascinating reports that we've seen all year. We're watching a major market correction happening in real time right now. Decades of deferred maintenance, strict new Florida condo laws, and massive insurance hikes have created a perfect storm for sellers. But for buyers who know how to navigate this crazy market, this is creating an absolutely incredible buying opportunity and one of the better buying opportunities that we have seen in years, okay? So let's go ahead and start by looking at the pipeline. Closed sales came in at 1,172. That's actually up from 1,155 in March, making a 1.5% increase month over month. And more importantly, we are up year over year from 1,125, which was last April's sales metrics. And that's a solid 4.2% increase in sales year over year. So despite all the scary headlines that you see in the news about, Florida condos and nobody's buying them, we're actually seeing some signs of light at the end of the tunnel for Broward condo sellers, despite the fact that this spring selling season has been a little bit underwhelming so far. Buyers are still writing contracts and deals are still making it to the closing table. But look at what is happening with new listings next here. We had 2,315 new condo listings hit the market. That's down 7.0% from March. And if we look at the year over year number, we're actually down an incredibly significant 13.6% from 2,678 new listings that we saw last April. We're seeing major new listing compression. Sellers are getting the memo that this is a tough market, and many are just simply choosing not to list if they don't absolutely have to sell right now because new listings are compressing, but it's pulling down the overall active supply because of that, okay? Our active supply is sitting right now at 11,525 units. That's down 4.2% from last month, and it's down a sizable 15.4% from last April. So here's where the rubber meets the road. Months of inventory, we are now sitting at 10 months of inventory exactly. That's identical to March, but it's down 2 full months from last April when we were sitting at 12 months of inventory, okay? So just so you know, months of inventory means if no new listings came on the market, how long would it take to sell the existing supply if the rate of sales kept at a constant, okay? Now let's put this into perspective. Miami-Dade condos right now are sitting at a massive 13 months of inventory, and Broward is at 10. Anything 7 months or over is considered a buyer's market. 4 to 6 is a balanced market, and then anything 1 to 3 months of inventory is considered a seller's market where they have more inventory because things are moving faster. So while 10 months of inventory means that we are very, very firmly still entrenched in this buyer's market right now, it's far less extreme than what we're seeing just one county over to the south with Miami-Dade. So buyers have the power here, but the inventory is slowly starting to get absorbed as we're seeing less active inventory, less new listings, etc. So let's look at how sellers are handling this buyer's market by checking in on expired listings and also the closed price to original price ratio, which is if you took an average across the entire market of how much sellers are having to discount off their list price to get to their ultimate sale price, and across the entire market as an average. So for instance, if it was listed for $100,000 and it sold for $95,000, that's a 95% closed to original price ratio. So starting off with expireds first, we hit 2,458 expired listings this month. That's up 7.8% in just one single month, and it's up 4.5% year over year. So what is absolutely wild about this number is that Broward has about 2,000 fewer total condo units for sale than Miami does, yet the amount of expired listings is about the same. So that's pretty crazy. There are plenty of listings right now that are expiring every single month because sellers are just refusing to acknowledge that the reality of their building's financial health, pricing of their units accordingly. They're failing to take all these things into consideration, the market in which they find themselves, and those units are probably overpriced and then ultimately expiring. So for the sellers who actually make it to closing, they are taking a hit as well. The closed to original price ratio dropped from 92.4% down from 92.9% last month. So that, last April, we were sitting at the exact same mark of 92.4%. So no change year over year. But again, month over month, we saw a drop of 0.5%, which is to the favor of buyers, meaning buyers are getting bigger discounts. And we've seen things bounce back a little bit from the absolute bottom of 91% close to original price ratio that we hit back in August of 2025. But make no mistake, the metric is heavily in favor of buyers here. Sellers are absolutely having to cut their prices on average, offering concessions potentially and negotiating heavily on, average just to get a deal done in Broward right now, okay? And that brings us to the bottom line, where we see the biggest victory for condo buyers in the entire report this month. First off, the median days on market dropped to 74. That's a decent little drop from 82 days on market in March, an almost 10% increase in market speed, so to speak. We're also selling 4 days quicker than we were last April, okay? So things moving faster for Broward condos, but look at the median price. The median price for Broward condos just dropped to $260,000. That's a $9,400 drop in just 1 month, or 3.5%. Year over year, we're down $20,000, which is a 7.1% reduction since last year. But here is the most important stat in this video. The absolute peak of the Broward condo market was June 2024 at $290,000, and at $260,000 today, we are officially down $30,000 from the peak of this condo market. That's a massive 10.3% drop in valuations. Buyers have fought hard through a landscape of high interest rates, massive HOA assessments, and they finally won back some real tangible ground on the purchase price scenario. So let's wrap this up a little bit here. What is the real story for Broward condos in spring of 2026? If you're a buyer, then you're in the driver's seat, basically. And the data that we've shown in this report proves it. Prices are down 10% from the peak. Sellers are settling for just 92% about of their asking price, but you have to be incredibly careful, okay? The reason these prices are dropping is because the condo cliff, so to speak, special assessments, insurance premiums, opaque budgets of condos that are being mismanaged, etc., are devastating underfunded buildings that have very small or no reserves. So your strategy right now is to hunt for the $260,000 deals, but you absolutely must have an agent who knows how to review condo financials, reserve studies, SERS studies, upcoming assessments. A cheap condo deal is not necessarily a deal that you get hit with a $50,000 roof assessment 3 months after you move in, okay? So you have to be very careful right now. If you're a seller, you have to essentially rip off the Band-Aid right now. You have 10 months of active inventory competing against you, and over 2,400 listings expired in 1 month alone. So if you price your unit like it's still 2023 or the peak, back in August of 2024, then you will sit on the market, you will expire, and you need to price your unit competitively from day one. Disclose your building's financial health transparently to buyers, and just be prepared to negotiate with buyers in order to cross the finish line. So if you're looking to buy a condo safely in this market, or you're a seller who needs an exit strategy before the next wave of assessments hits, then reach out to me directly. There's a link in my Calendly in the description down below where we can set up a free one-on-one call to discuss your specific exact situation and talk about what makes sense for you. When you reach out to me, you will be reaching me directly. I always work one-on-one directly with people who reach out. I'm not offloading you onto a junior team member or anything like that. It's very important for me to treat people the way that I would want to be treated. So if you appreciate that and you made it this far in the video, no reason in the world why you shouldn't hit the like button. It costs you $0. Helps, a free way to help my channel grow and get to more people. Smash the like button, smash subscribe, hit the bell and all that good stuff. And that's about it, guys, for this report. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.